Alright, we're moving on to 11.5, the area of similar figures. Okay, don't forget similar figures, we need to use scale factors or missing measures to give the areas of one figure, and then obviously it's in proportion, the new one's in proportion to whatever that figure is. Okay. Alright, so now we're finding the areas of similar figures. Okay, don't forget similar figures. These two guys are in proportion. A is 5 and 9, B is 5k and 9k, whatever k is going to be. Alright, let's bring it down to the theorem. If you've got your two similar shapes, then you put them into ratio and proportion, your fractions again, the area of one over the area of the other. But don't forget, now we're finding the area of it, so we have to square your numbers. So let's have a look at example 1, find the areas of similar figures. It tells you, and make sure you read the statement, that they are similar. The area of the smaller one is 30. In other words, what is the area of the bigger one? Well, first of all, find the scale factor of the bigger one to the smaller one. Well, you've been given sides, which is 15 and 12, and that's why they've simplified it. Okay, so it's 15 over 12 or 5 over 4, and don't forget you've got to square them. So now if you square them, you get 25 over 16. All right, here's the area of the smaller one. What is the area of the bigger one? Well, it just becomes a basic cross multiply. Okay, so you could have the area of triangle PQR as your x, so 16x equals 25 times 30. Okay, divide by 16 and you're going to finish up with 46.875. Okay, now again, when you get the answer, make sure you read the statement to see what degree of accuracy you need to answer your question to. Okay, so let's have a look at question number 1. So what are you told? That the diagonal of the bigger quadrilateral is 8, the diagonal of the smaller quadrilateral is 4, so your scale factor is going, so I'm going to take the bigger one purely and simply because it tells you what the area is. So you've got 8 over 4, which will cancel down to 2 over 1. Okay, and then don't forget, you've got to square them. So 2 over 1 squared is going to give you 4 over 1. So that's your ratio and proportion that you need. So it's 4 over 1 equals, and what do you know? Well, the area is 36. So it's going to be 36 over x. Cross multiply, you get 4x equals 36. So x is going to equal 9. And its area, so it's going to be 9 yards squared. So if this guy is 36, this guy here must be 9 yards squared. So now we're moving on to section 2, finding the scale factors and the missing measures. This time obviously you're working in reverse. In example 2, it tells you the areas of the two quadrilaterals. Now you've got to find the missing side, which is JH in this case. All right, and as it says, go back to what was in 11.1, the area of each over each other to make your ratio and proportion. Don't forget you've got to square it. So it's going to be 54 over 150, and then simplify it down, which will give you 9 over 25, and that equals k squared. So you've got to work out what k is. So k is 3/5. And now you put it in your ratio and proportion. You want to find out what the other side is. Well, you know that k is 3/5, and one of your sides you've been given as 10. Put it in the right way. Cross multiply, so 5x equals 30, so x is going to equal 6. So let's have a look at example 3. Now you've been given the two areas, so let's make your ratio and proportion. So 875 over 315, and following their previous example, that equals k squared. And if we simplify that down, you get 25 over 9. That would be done in your calculator. That equals k squared. Take your square root of both sides, so k is going to equal 5 over 3. Now you've got your ratio and proportion. You can bring that over here. So 5 over 3, and that's going to equal the sides that you are getting. Don't forget the 5 is from the bigger one, so that's going to be x over 21. You're going to cross multiply, so 3x equals 105. And if you divide through by 3, you're going to get x equals 35. And this is a distance, so it's just purely and simply 35 centimetres. So that's the length of the side. Well, let's have a look at the question. The question says find the scale factor. Well, that's the 5 over 3. And then find x, which is 35.